So, good morning, everybody. Trienne and Teagan here. We have been homeschooling, or virtual schooling, I should say, not homeschooling, because now for how long?
A month.
A month? No, it's been about a week and a half. Anyway, we thought that it might be fun because I have to say that when we did this in the spring, I would not say that we were overly successful, right? We didn't do great. We did our best, but we did not do great. And honestly, like I would say the stress, the vibe, that's a good word, around being home for that amount of time and school stopping so abruptly. I feel like this time we've maybe been a little bit more prepared for virtual. But we wanted to share with you today, I thought it would be fun to share with you 6 tips or hacks to have hopefully some success during this virtual time. Some people are virtual, all the time this year. Every county or school district's a little different. We are looking at hopefully going back right after Thanksgiving, which would be awesome. Cross our fingers because we miss our friends, right? Miss our friends. We miss that routine. But I said to Teagan this... Huh? Oh, she has a bonus tip. So I said to Teagan this morning, I said, hey, we've been kind of killing it with this virtual schooling, doing a great job. So I said, do you want to go on live with me and we can do 6 tips, although now you're getting a bonus, of how to handle virtual school and try to be successful. So I came up with 3, and then I had Teagan come up with 3, and we have not shared them with each other. So there may be duplication, but I thought this would be fun anyway. Okay. And if you have any tips, definitely share those down below too, because obviously everything works a little bit differently in different households, and what works for us might not be great for you, but at least we could trigger a couple ideas. So I think she's almost done. So yeah, definitely share down below some things that you guys have been doing virtual schooling that is helping you make it more successful. Also, like if you're loving virtual schooling, throw some hearts in there if you're kind of just putting up with it, because it can be stressful, especially for parents who are working during the day, working full time. You're trying to get some of these things done in the evening with the kids after you've spent all day at work, right? And that can definitely hurt the vibe, as Teagan called it. You almost ready, sister? Okay. And I can't see comments right now. So while she's finishing up her bonus tip, let me pull this up on maybe I can pull it up on our regular Facebook page and I can see the comments. Okay. Are you ready?
It's about the teachers.
Is it?
My teacher.
Oh, okay. All right. And again, I don't know any of Teagan's little tips, so this should be exciting. Okay. So don't read mine. You will see. Okay. So because she's got a bonus, she'll have more than me. I'm going to let her go first. So these are your success hacks for virtual schooling. So here we go. Are we ready?
Stay muted unless you have to say something.
Oh, that's a good one. So why do you feel like you should stay muted on your Google Meet?
Because there's a lot of background noise and everybody's like,
everybody's moving and there's a lot of background noise,
yeah.
So sometimes it can be hard to hear what the teacher's saying. So if you stay muted and you don't turn your microphone on until you have to speak, that's helpful for everybody else that's on the Google Meet, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so my first tip is set the environment for them. Set that learning environment for them in order to do their best. So some kids may choose to go into their bedrooms and kind of work things on their own. We prefer to have the kids in the kitchen dining room area so that we can help them as well. So we make sure obviously that there's good lighting. The other thing that we do is we're trying to stick to a routine. So it's really great that our teachers for our district have set Google Meet times twice a day. So I just programmed those into my phone to make sure that we got on those when we needed to. But otherwise, to set that routine, you still want to get up, get dressed, get ready for the day by the normal time that you would leave the house so that you can best prepare them to stay kind of in that school zone.
Oh yeah, make
Go
sure
ahead.
to go to the bathroom before you go on your call.
Is that a bonus tip too?
No.
Go to the bathroom before you get on your Google Meet. Okay.
It's not a bonus tip.
And then another thing that kind of helps set the scene is maybe if you've got some background music, or like today, Teagan was doing her writing assignment that she was supposed to do, listening to music and kind of jamming out. Okay, so that's my first tip. Set the scene, set the environment. What's your second one?
Pay attention so you know what to do, because we're on the computers and stuff, and you probably don't know how. Like, Dad needed help getting on Seesaw for Blake,
You did?
so Mom had to help them. You
Okay.
always have to listen.
Yes. You always have to listen to directions. And, you know, Google Meets and Zooms can be kind of distracting anyway, just because visually you're seeing
Yeah.
everybody move all over. So it is kind of hard for them to pay attention to what's going on in those. So, you know, you just kind of remind them, like, do your best to listen, do your best to pay attention. Maybe ask questions to them afterwards to figure out what they learned. It's okay. Okay, so my number 2 tip was to begin with the end in mind. This is one of the 7 habits from Stephen Covey, and she knows it as
Help me see, there's a leader in me, there's a leader in me.
that's exactly what it is. So it's leader in me for the school district, which is really great. But begin with the end in mind was my number 2. So for me, the end in mind is when I'm finished with this virtual schooling, it's important for me that Teagan and Blake both still absolutely love learning, that they love school, that it excites them, that it makes them happy when they think about sitting down to do some of those assignments. And then the second thing is, when all this is over, our relationship still needs to be strong. You know, we definitely struggled in the spring, didn't we? Yep. We struggled in the spring, and I went ahead and I was like, I do not want that to happen this time. I want us at the end of this to still have a good relationship, and that was the most important to me. So I just had to really think about how I wanted some of these learning assignments to go.
And in mine is the second habit.
It is, and it's my number 2 tip. So it's perfect. All right, what's your number 3?
Find a quiet place so it's easier to hear.
Okay, so find a quiet place so it's easier.
Yeah.
So where have you liked to listen to your classes the most?
Probably in the back room because it's bright and I like the brightness and it's comfortable.
Okay. So find a place. You also went in the toy room? You went in there?
Yeah, I
by
like
yourself?
it in the toy room
Yep.
too.
So Teagan and Blake's classes tend to overlap just a little bit. So those first couple minutes of her class or the last couple are best for her to kind of go into another room. And we can trust that she's paying attention and just ask questions afterwards. Okay. All right. So my third tip for virtual school time is to make sure that you're offering encouragement and asking what they need. So this is high anxiety for them just as much as it is for us. So, you got that?
In my eye.
So, there's been a couple times now, especially with Blake, having to say, okay, let's take a breath, let's calm down. So we just in through the nose and out through the nose. We just kind of recenter ourselves before we move on with the assignment because
Smell the
it's
flowers? Those candles.
because it's not worth getting upset over. We just need to work through it, right? And what better timing than for us to teach them how to get through some of that frustration. So I say things like, okay, let's breathe, let's calm down.
Here's the figure with earrings.
They might. The other thing I do is I just say, okay, talk to me. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What's going on? And then they can share. I'm either frustrated, I'm sad that I'm not seeing my friends, whatever that thing is. And then I just remind them, we're going to get through this. Let's get through this. What's the best way that I can help you right now? Okay? Because again, back to tip number 2, if I begin with the end in mind, at the end of this, I want them to love learning, and I want them to still have a good relationship with us at the end. Okay, you had a bonus tip.
Yes.
I'm ready for this. Let's hear the bonus tip.
This one's for all the teachers out there. Make sure that you test your mic before to make sure you're loud enough.
We did have some technical difficulties, right?
With
And
my teacher.
what I really loved, though, is, think about how quickly that got fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It got fixed really quickly. We had some other issues, technical wise too, and I have to give some super praise to our school district because all the teachers and all the parents and honestly the kids that are on some of those Google Meets, like they're really trying to make the best of this, and it's really awesome to see them work together to do that. And it's part of the reason that we love our school district, right? Kudos to them.
I really don't know what that word means.
It means great job.
Oh.
It's awesome. It's like a thumbs up. Yeah. Okay. Do you have any additional bonus tips that you would like to share? Okay.
Try to leave your video camera thingy on. So if when you raise your, if you have to speak, you can raise your hand.
Good.
No one goes.
Then they can't hear you.
Yeah. So this is one person who's already talking, and then and then you have something to say, and you go.
So the respectful thing to do is. Hello, calling me. Okay, so thank you for letting us share those hacks with you today for at least even a squeak of more success with your virtual schooling. And I want to thank you for coming on with me today. This was super fun to do with you.
I would do it next time.
We should
too, because I like this.
We should do more of these.
I like it.
Okay, so we will talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for leaving your success tips down below. And you have more? Okay.
No, I have a good ending.
Oh, okay, let's hear it.
And that's our show!
And that's the show.